Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Umineko. Today's episode of Umineko is sponsored by coffee. Coffee, the amazing miracle drink that helps you stay up far later than you're supposed to while doing Let's Plays. Available in local supermarkets. And with that out of the way, we can continue in the kitchen. Many plates were lined up on the counter in the kitchen. Preparations for dinner were proceeding steadily. The number of plates that were lined up there was 19. Oh, how spooky! The number was one more than were lined up during the family conference every year.
納得できません。どうして私が直接お届けに上がってはならないのですか?
Goda-san flared up at Genji, paying no heed to the pot that was boiling over. The master enjoyed having his food alone in his study, so the food needed to be set out in the study. However, this always happened. Goda-san really wanted to set the table for the master with his own hands, as he had put his heart and soul into his cooking. But the master had imposed a strict rule that none but the servants bearing the golden eagle crest could enter his study. So, while Goda-san could greet the master from outside the study, not once had he been granted the honor of carrying his cooking into the study. Goda-san was always unsatisfied with this, but for some reason today he decided to push it more than usual. Of course, he was a newcomer in terms of years of service. However, he had piled up plenty of experience from his previous jobs, and he was strongly confident that he would always be able to perform in front of Kinzo in a way that would not insult him. And yet, just because he was not permitted the golden eagle, he still hadn't been blessed with this honor. You can probably imagine what damage that did to his pride. You might think that tonight was another repeat of that, but it wasn't. Because tonight, there was a person other than the master who wanted their food carried to their room. Apparently, this person was a very rare and honored guest, and there had been a strict order to treat this person in the same manner as the master, who was the family head. Goda-san must have wanted to earn some points by serving this honored guest with his own hands. Because he was a person of strong vanity, as you would imagine. If he wasn't qualified to serve the master, then at least a guest of the same rank. He couldn't have made time during lunch no matter what, so Canon-san had gone for him. Therefore, he truly desired to serve tonight's food, the best dinner of the year. But Genji-san had a problem with that. Something about how Goda-san didn't have the golden eagle. After being scolded that he wasn't qualified again, Goda-san had lost his patience. Ah, so heartrending, Goda-san. I cannot do anything more than watch like this from the shadows.
熊沢さん、油を売っている暇があったら食堂の準備をしてきてください。テーブルクロスは大丈夫ですか?
Oh boy. He's all mad now.
これは失礼を。
Boing. When it became her turn to bear the brunt, Kumasawa softly disappeared into the hall.
ベアトリーチェ様は親方様と全く同格のお方です。ルールも親方様のそれと同じものを尊ばなくてはならない。ゴーダは自分の仕事に専念し、親族の皆さんのお相手をするよう。
そのようなお客様相手に、源氏さんならともかくこんな子供を生かせていいのですか? もし何かの粗相があったら失礼にあたります。確かに彼らの年季は長いですが、しかるべきところで修行をしたことがあるわけじゃない。正直に申し上げて、お客様に接する基礎ができていないのです。
Even though Shannon was waiting there in the kitchen, Goda spoke so bluntly. Shannon was the one who Genji had ordered to carry the food into Beatrice's room. By the ranking system among the servants permitted the Golden Eagle, Shannon was surely the second highest ranked. If the highest ranked Genji went to set the table in Kinzo's room, then it fell to Shannon to set the table in Beatrice's room. Goda's pride was always horribly injured when he was shown this ranking system. In times like that, he would speak out bluntly and rudely about Shannon and Canon, because he's a jerk. Gota kept raising examples of each one of Shannon's failures until now, making a ruckus about how this was wrong and that was wrong. Shannon, who listened to this and hung her head in shame, heard Canon's voice from behind her. Canon had heard everything, having approached from a blind spot in the kitchen, along the wall near the entrance to the... a blind spot in the hall, along the wall near the entrance to the kitchen. He probably knew that if he entered the kitchen, sparks would start to fly his way.
言わせておきなよ。最低の男だ。
Well, we already got that.
でも接待の基礎の勉強になるし、合田さんはたくさん勉強してるから、とても参考に。
姉さんは優しいね。
それより貴賓室のお客様がベアトリーチェ様だというのは本当なの？
うん。昼食の配膳に行かされた時にあった。間違いなくあいつだったよ。
そう、お元気そうだった？
Canon remembered that he and Shannon had different impressions about Beatrice. To Shannon, Beatrice was a cupid of love, who had granted her magic to create a relationship with George. Judging by the expression that rose to her face, it looked like she couldn't wait to inform Beatrice of how her relationship with George had progressed. However, Canon already knew. That witch had come here with a terrifying goal in mind. That vague witch that only they had been able to see in the past had now walked in openly through the front door, and had revived enough that they could now carry food to her. In the past, when she had disappeared from in front of Canon, the witch had said something about how her own power was still weak. Did that mean that the witch, who could now appear openly like this, had finally returned to her former power? And she had said that. She had definitely said that she had known of his failure and had sown the seeds of love. She had said something else. She had definitely said that the day on which the door to the Golden Land would be opened had finally come.
Shannon, あいつは親方様と何かの怪しげな儀式をし、きっとそれには誰も抗えない。
何の話なの？
あいつはやってきたんだ。親方様が求めた黄金鏡の扉を開き、すべてを黄金鏡に戻すために。あいつは僕に確かにそう言った。
I can tell by your expression, Canon, you're really serious now. In the past, the two of them, as furniture working for Kinzo, had been told what opening of the door to the Golden Land meant. Therefore, even without asking a single question in response, Shannon understood everything. So, she grew deeply hopeless. Something tore at Canon's heart as he looked at that expression twisted with grief.
そうだ。どうして今になって。
だから言ったんだ。僕らは家具だって。人間の真似事なんかして恋なんかするから。僕たちの役目の終わるこの日を素直に受け入れられない。い
つかこの日が訪れることをかつては願ってた。でもいつまで経っても訪れなくて、私たちはいつまで家具として苦しめばいいのかわからなくて。だから私思ったの。安息の日なんて永遠に訪れないんだって。
So I haven't really addressed this much, but do they know that the Golden Land thing is kind of like being dead? More or less? Do they know about that? And are they basically wanting to escape from being furniture by dying? That's a little harsh.
僕だって。でも 必ずいつか訪れるって僕は信じてた。だから僕は家具としての自覚を忘れなかったんだ。なのに姉さんは忘れた。
私が悪いのね。私が。
ああ、姉さんが悪い。
Canon, wow, chill out.
姉さんさえ恋を覚えなかったら、僕たちはようやく訪れた今日を喜び合うはずだった。
It's all your fault, you jerk.
姉さんがくだらない未練を作ってしまったんだ。必ず去らなければならない世界なのに。
儀式は今夜始まるの。
Oh boy.
あと
I can't wait for the
あいつは僕
ceremony.
に言った。
People die, maybe?
今夜ジョージ様は姉さんに婚約指輪を贈るだろうって。
That was a fact. George should have snuck in an engagement ring in his pocket today. And surely he would hand it over tonight.
あいつは姉さんとジョージ様を第二の番の生贄に使うつもりで二人の仲をくっつけたんだ。わかる？姉さんはあいつにそそのかされた上利用されたんだよ。
そうだったの。考えたこともなかったわ。
でもあいつは言ったよ。もし今夜その婚約指輪を受け取らなかったなら姉さんを生贄に選ばないと約束した。
So, okay, so let's relate this to the first day. I don't know, or the first chapter. I don't know if she's gonna do it again here, but it looked like, I think if I remember correctly, she was wearing the engagement ring whenever they found her body, which means she accepted it, which means that she was chosen as a sacrifice. And this time they're talking about, well, I guess they're talking about it. She might still do the exact same thing, I don't know at this point, but it's shown that if she accepts the engagement ring, then she gets sacrificed as the pair of lovers.
僕たちが揃って黄金鏡へ行ける確率はとても低いと思う。13人が生贄になる。生き残るのは5人だけ。その中に僕たち2人が入れる確率は本当に低い。でも姉さんだけでもその約束が得られるなら確率はもっと上がる。僕はかけたいんだ。黄金鏡には救いがある。僕たちはそこへたどり着き人間を手に入れるんだ。そして姉さんと2人で人間としての人生を歩みたいんだよ。そうすれば本当にできるかもしれない。
かつての私たちは黄金鏡へ行けることを夢見てたね。そこへ行けばどんな願いでも叶う。私たちをこの苦しみから救ってくれる。そう信じてた。
However, in the ceremony, only a few people, decided by fate and chance, would be invited to the Golden Land. Everyone else would lose their life as a sacrifice midway through the ceremony. However, in the past, Shannon and Canon had thought that whether they reached the Golden Land, or were made sacrifices, they would still be released from their duties as furniture, either making it to the Golden Land, which seems like some strange purgatory place, or dying. So in other words, this ceremony would definitely give release to furniture like them.
僕は嫌だ。これまでの辛かった分を姉さんと取り戻したい。生贄なんてごめんだ。僕と姉さんは生き残る。そして2人で黄金鏡へたどり着く。だから姉さんを第二の番の生贄になんかさせない。頼むよ姉さん。あの男の指輪を受け取らないで。
Your face is really matching your voice right now.
それを受け取らなければあいつは姉さんを生贄には選ばないと約束してくれた。
それはできないよ。今夜の指輪はとても特別なもの。それを受け取らないことは私の心が許さない。
姉さん、儀式の生贄は魔女が気まぐれに決めることになってる。その魔女が姉さんだけは見逃すと約束してくれたんだよ。姉さんだけは絶対に黄金鏡へ行けるんだ。
私だけ？カノン君は？
僕は魔女のゲームで十分さ。あいつの魔女なんかかいくぐってやる。僕は無力じゃない。わずかの確率を。
It's just like last time where you died really, really quickly after almost no real resistance.
僕たちのせいなんて所詮は仮初めじゃないか。本当の人生を始めるために僕たちは黄金鏡へたどり着こう。そして人間を手に入れよう。そうしたらさ、僕も姉さんみたいに恋が知れるかな。もう家具だからって人を泣かせずに済むかな。
カノン君、
僕はもう家具は嫌だ。絶対に人間になってやる。こんな苦しみから絶対に。
There were tears in Canon's eyes. By now, Canon had noticed. Shannon hadn't been the only one to know and suffer the taste of love. He had too. The tears Jessica had shown him that day. And Jessica's pitiful face as she tried to smooth things over and brighten her mood until today had slowly wrought some kind of change on Canon's heart without him knowing it.
Shannon.
So we're done with that? Okay.
さっきから呼んでいる。
Shannon was taken aback by Genji's sudden voice. Apparently, she had been called for repeatedly. And hurriedly she answered. When she turned back, Canon had disappeared. Probably sulking about Bing furniture some more. It seemed he didn't feel like showing his tears to anyone.
はい、ぼんやりしていてすみません。
昼食はカノンに頼んだが、本来は私の次の序列のお前が運ぶべきものだ。ベアトリーチェ様は当家の最高の賓客だ。それ以上の賓客はいない。もう一人の親方様と思い、丁重に頼む。
よろしいですか。くれぐれも粗相のないようにお願いしますよ。
Goda doesn't want any crap from you. Look at that expression.
経験の未熟なあなたに託すのは非常に心苦しいですが、当家のルールとあっては仕方ありません。くれぐれも頼みますよ。
Goda had officially agreed, but he threatened Shannon with an expression that told her that he definitely wouldn't forgive any mistakes. Shannon thought that Goda should just go if he wanted to that much. But she thought of her responsibilities as the one who had been granted the Golden Eagle, and had to give up. And I wanted to meet Beatrice. What will I talk about? What will I ask? I don't know. Will this be a meeting of gratitude? Or else grief? Or else what? I don't know. Shannon piled the witch's food onto the serving cart and left the kitchen with a slow gait. The person who knocked was cross. I don't want to go away. I'm busy doing magic. Don't make me shake my old man fist to you. You dang kids are knocking on my door. Kinzo screamed across the door. Genji was waiting behind Cross.
お食事は書斎へ運べるよう準備しております。ただ、クラウス様が今夜はどうか下へ降りていただきたい。
お父さん、毎日とは言いません。 せめて今夜だけでも家族で揃ってはくれませんか。
誰が家族か。貴様はいつから生き倒れを待つハゲタカたちを家族と呼ぶようになったのか。
As much as Kinzo is kind of crazy and all, I do agree that they are being a little bit rude about that.
腐りて湧き出すウジ虫を家族と呼ぶようになったのか。
いや、あれ。
Cross shrugged at this answer, which he had half expected.
源氏、言われた通りに食事をここへ運べ。なぜ言うことを聞かぬ。なぜ
源氏さん、後を頼みます。もうあの人に私の声は届かんね。
Cross gave his head a small shake, and quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He had only called out for the siblings' sake, even though he knew it was useless. After Genji watched Cross go down the stairs, he called again across the door.
親方様、お食事を運ぶ準備はできております。南條先生の分はいかがいたしますか。
Nanzo's figure was in the study. Because Kinzo had strongly pestered him about resolving their long-lasting chess game, Nanzo had been Kinzo's opponent since before evening. Nanzo had announced as a doctor that Kinzo's days were numbered. In that situation, if Kinzo pestered him about finishing a chess game while he was still alive, Nanzo couldn't refuse. Kinzo was thinking deeply about his move, concentrating more than usual. It had been Kinzo's turn for quite some time, and Nanzo, who was tired of waiting, had randomly pulled out a book on magic that he couldn't understand and was skimming it.
Kinzo さん、盤面を前に腕を組むだけではいい一手は出ませんぞ。一つ休憩をして頭をリフレッシュしてみるのもいいのではありませんかな。
黙れ。守りはこれで十分か。ビショップやナイトに隙間を突かれはしないか。
Today, Kinzo was insistent on a strong defense. Normally, Kinzo's motto was that offense was the best defense. However, today was completely the opposite.
私も腹が減りました。ここいらで中断しませんか。それに休みなく頭を回転させておりましたから、もう頭がクラクラです。これ以上は私も最善手をさせるとは限りませんぞ。
それは困る。チェスは互いに常に最善手を指さねばならん。そうでない一手は理解に苦しみ、思考を読むゲームを狂わせてしまう。それでは今日を著しくそぐというものだ。
Kinzo sighed deeply, and finally shifted his gaze away from the board. Chess needed an opponent. If that opponent was tired and was trying to suspend the game, too bad.
確かにチェスの目的は勝利を目指すことで、互いにそしてそれを読み合う知的ゲームです。ですが勝利以外にもう一つ目的があることを金蔵さんはお忘れではありませんか
な。なんだと？勝利以外にどんな目的があるというのか。
金蔵さんがそんなこともお忘れとは。チェスを通し親友と楽しい時間を過ごす。
I don't have friends, just magic and angry fist shaking.
ですぞ。
参ったな。それは確かずいぶん昔に私がお前に言った言葉だったはず。これは参った。
Kinzo, who normally wore a frown, surprisingly relaxed his face and laughed. Nanjo felt like he had been reunited with a close friend he hadn't seen in a long time.
そういうことです。一本取られたついでにどうです？私と下に降りて食事と行きませんかな。食後にコーヒーと一緒にカスパロフの中盤についての議論でもいかがです？
良い提案だが遠慮する。私はもうこの部屋から出られない。儀式は始まっているのでな。
そうですか。では私はお腹もペコペコですからな。下へ降りることにします。気が向いたらいつでも。
南條、ありがと
う。おや、何の礼ですかな？
お前とのチェスの決着はつかなかった。だが、私が忘れていたチェスの目的はどうやら果たせたらしい。それはどうもチェックメイトと同じくらい重要なものであったらしい。
らしくもない。何の干渉ですかな。
お前が言ったのではないか。私には余命がないと。
Yeah, you might find yourself in the incinerator.
もう行け。そしてもうこの部屋へ来るな。続きは黄金鏡でやろう。
いいですが、仕切り直しですぞ。ルークが落ちてしまったのは痛手ですのでな。それでは後ほど。
ああ、後ほどな。黄金鏡か煉獄か、あるいは次の世で。
Well, that's rather sinister for a goodbye. Naju didn't say anything beyond that. And with a practiced hand, he pushed the button on the table that would release the auto lock. Then, after looking at Kinzo's back one last time, he left the study. That is a sad way to depart from somebody. So, everything still seems to be going for the general same route, the same basic route, as we had in Chapter 1, but interestingly enough, and there might even be more things that seem to be going the same way than normal, and we're just seeing it from another angle. But there obviously are changes that we know didn't happen before. So I'm kind of curious how, first off, that's going to affect it, and then second off, how these other characters that we didn't really focus on much are going to react to it. I feel like Shannon, just because we've been focusing on Shannon and Canon so much, aren't going to die off nearly as quickly this time. Probably. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get back to that next time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Umineko. Bye!